Hi friends, look at this awesome little project that I'm going to demonstrate for you today. This was one of our projects. It was a mini class that I had at my recent holiday creative retreat. And I just loved making this. It was so much fun. And you know what? Every girl that made this little shadow box at the retreat just loved it. So I was really happy about that. And I'm going to show you exactly how to put it together. It's really quite easy. So I used one of the Stampin' Up! Pizza boxes for this shadow box, and you're going to have a glossy side on the pizza box and a matte side. You want to do all your decorating on the matte side. I'm also using my layering squares dies, and I'm using the largest scallop square. Okay, so I've got my magnetic platform on my Big Shot, putting a plate down, my pizza box, and I've got the tab up near the front, and just putting my die right on the front of that pizza box, centering it. And now I'm just going to put my plate on top and run that through and give it a good cut. And because the pizza box is a little bit thicker, I'm going to go back and forth a couple of times. Alright, that should do it. Okay, cut great. See, you want to save this piece, so we're going to put that aside. Okay, I've got a Stampin' Sponge, and I am taking Coastal Cabana, and I'm going to sponge the entire front of this box. There's some little bits still in there, so I'm just going to take my fingernail. There we go. Perfect. Okay, I think this ink pad's a bit dry. I'm going to take my re-inker and just ink this up a bit. I love Coastal Cabana. Such a pretty color. Okay. Really handy having re-inkers for our ink pads, my friends. There we go. Alright. Make sure it's not too dark. Nope, that's good. Okay, so you see the difference, having that little extra ink on that ink pad. And just do this on the whole front of this pizza box. Okay, so there it is. Set that aside for a second. Come back to this piece, and I'm sponging the edges. You know what? I'm going to do this one a bit different. I think I'm actually going to sponge on this one. So you just want to lightly sponge on this inside piece. Didn't sponge this inside piece on the original, but you know, I'm going to give it a whirl for this particular ornament. Okay, so that is it for the Coastal Cabana. Okay, so now we're going to put our box together. I believe you get 8 of these in a package from Stampin' Up! They're awesome. I love them. And they have the glossy bit on the inside, so that if you wanted to put cookies or treats like that, that's why it's got that different finish on the inside. So I'm just folding up on all the creases. Okay. So this bit will fold down right on the inside. There's little tabs that tuck right on the inside. And then these ends go inside the box. And there it is. Okay, so we are not going to, like, at one point I'm actually going to add a hot glue around here to seal it. I'm not going to do that yet. But what I do want to do is add some glue. And you know what? I actually have my hot glue gun already heated, so I'm just going to use my hot glue gun. You do need a hot glue gun for this project. Alrighty. This gets put on the inside, on the center. Just like that. Okay, I'm going to add some splatters on the inside. So I'm just taking my Sahara sand and I'm squeezing it. Open that up. Taking my aqua painter. And I'm going to add quite a bit of water. Really load that up and just lightly tap just to get a few splatters on there. This is going to be the little snowy background. Plus, I really like the look of the splattering. And you know what? I'm going to add some splatter to the front as well. So now it's time for some stamping. So I'm taking my mat and I'm putting a piece of fairy vanilla on top of that. Using the wonderful Farmhouse Christmas from the Festive Farmhouse set. I'm using my truck. And I'm inking my truck, whoops, with my black Memento. Perfect. Now I'm going to stamp my tree. These are going to be cut with dies, so that's why I can stamp them kind of willy-nilly like that. I need to stamp the little wreath as well. Okay, so now it's time for some coloring. So I'm going to take my crumb cake for the tree. Okay, so that's it for the tree. Now I'm taking Old Olive. This is probably one of my very favorite Stampin' Up! Colors. And I'm going to color the tree. I'm going to take some Mossy Meadow. And I'm just dabbing a little bit here and there on the tree just to have the two different greens on it. And I'm also taking Mossy Meadow for the wreath. Okay, sorry about the lighting, but I think you can see the two shades of green on that tree. So the truck is Cherry Cobbler. Okay, and now I'm going to add some more Cherry Cobbler just to add some different shadows. Now I'm taking some ink off my aqua painter and I just want a light wash to blend that in. You could use the Stampin' Blend markers, you could use our pencil, watercolor pencils, you could use anything you want for the coloring. But I'm just adding more ink to kind of blend in those lines a little bit more. Okay. So there's my truck. Now I'm taking some Pool Party and this is going to go on the windows, making sure My aqua painter is clean. Smoky slate. And this is going to go on the tires. And on the little review mirrors. And on the steering wheel. The lights. I'm actually going to put some down here as well. A little bit more. So you see that didn't take long to color. So now I want to cut those out using the coordinating dies. So we've got the tree, the wreath, and the truck. Put the plate on, crank it through. So we've got our little wreath. Oops. We've got our truck. And we have our tree, and I love how it cuts out those little bits in the center too. Super cool. Alright, we're going to set these aside. Okay, now I have a piece of cherry cobbler, and you can see I've been cutting out bows. So now I got all kinds of little bows. Some are still in here, so I'm just going to pop them out. Okay, now I'm going to cut a fence. This is such a cool die. Oh my goodness, I love it. So I want to use my precision plate for this. So I have my multi-purpose platform open on tab 2. Put my plate down, some crumb cake, my die. It's going to be a fun stamp set to use for scrapbooking, especially this fence die. Okay, so I'm going to take that out, and I'm just going to rub it with my die brush, and all those little pieces just pop right out. Look at that. Hello, cute or what? Can you imagine if you did it in black for Halloween? And oh my goodness, so much fun. Okay, now it's time to put it together. And I should have glued this on before I glued this on the inside. So do as I say, not as I do. So here's what I'm going to do. I've got my silicone mat with my hot gun, but I'm going to put a dab of glue. And just use this sponge here. I only need just a bit of the fence. So I'm going to cut it right about there. Make sure it fits. I'm going to cut a little bit more. Yep. I would say that's good. So I'm just taking my sponge. Gonna need a bit more glue. Of course, our adhesive sheets work great, but this is just what I do. And I can rinse out this sponge and use it again. So I'm putting that down pretty much right near the bottom of that scallop square. There. Okay, I'm going to move this out of the way now. So I want to take a mini dimensional for the tree. And a little piece in there that needs to get popped out. And a big dimensional for this portion. Normally when I film my videos, it's first thing in the morning, and it is 20 to 8 at night, and it feels weird doing a video when it's dark outside, but I've got my evening cup of coffee, and it's just a nice way to spend an evening actually doing this with you. Okay, so there's my tree. Okay, now I have a piece of fairy vanilla. This measures 3.5 by 1.5, I believe. Yep. And I'm scoring down at the 1/2 inch mark. I'm going to fold that up. And I'm going to take my scissors and cut a bit of a snowbank. So you see, when you've got your box, this bit is going to get glued down here, and then the truck will get glued on here. So that's how the truck comes out, like that. Okay. So take my glue. And really make sure you've got that crease on there good. Okay, just hold it down for a minute. So I'm going to take my glue and put a little bit on here. Take my little ribbons. And again, this is a little bit different than what I did on the original. Oh my goodness! So cute! Okay. Take my glue again, and I'm just going to randomly dab here and there, and I'm going to sprinkle on some dazzling diamonds. To look pretty snowy. Okay, so before I put the truck on, I want to take the texture paste and start putting that on the back layer. And then we're going to put some more dazzling diamonds. So this texture paste, if you never used it, is super fun, super cool. Dries really fast though, so you want to make sure that you work kind of quickly with it, and also you don't want to leave it unsealed. You want to make sure it's sealed up well, otherwise it will dry quite quickly in the tub, and that would be sad. So I'm liberally adding some snow to the base of the tree and at the bottom of the fence. Okay, I'm dabbing a little bit on the tree as well. Such a fun project to work on. Nice change from cards. I love making my cards, but I must say this has been one of the most fun projects I've made in a long time. And the inspiration came from a display board on the Alaskan cruise, Stampin' Up! had an Altoid tin, and they had made a shadow box out of it. And I thought, huh, why couldn't we use our pizza boxes? And it works great. I want a little bit of snow on those bows too. As you can tell, I'm not afraid to get my fingers mucked up a bit here. Putting a little bit of texture paste on the fence. So I have a wet paper towel here. Baby wipes will work, or if you got a sink handy, you want to go rinse off your palette knife. And put this back on nice and tight. Oh, I'm going to be using this again in a second actually. More Dazzling Diamonds. And that's going to go on the snow. Time for me to glue this down. Forgot that this bit has to go under here, so I'm going to trim this bit. Right across. Put some hot glue down in here. Alright, so to finish this, I'm taking the new sprig leaf punch and punch out some of those. Galvanized buttons that are part of the Festive Farmhouse suite are really, really cool. Absolutely love them. Okay, so I'm taking a piece of cherry cobbler twine. Try to go through one hole here. Pull it through. Add a knot. Actually just going under once like that. And then I'm just going to tap the ends a little bit and trim that. Glue. And there it is. Pretty cool. Tons of fun. Something else that I did on this card that I didn't do on this one that I like. Before I did my splattering with the Sahara sand, I took this stamp here from the farmhouse set and I stamped it with Versamark all over that square background and then embossed it in white. And so I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but it literally looks like little snow, you know, bits of snow all over the background. And then I splattered on the Sahara sand and then the glue and the glitter like I did on this one. But they're both completely adorable, so much fun, and I really hope you give this a try because, did I mention it was a ton of fun? So thank you for watching. I really hope you give this a try. They're going to make wonderful little gifts and decorations. Thanks for watching. Happy stamping.